A coincidence?
With some of the latest news, Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. agreed to face each other sometime later on this year. But Jaron Boots Ennis, Brian Norman Jr., will this fight happen? Was it a coincidence that Jaron Boots Ennis moved up to 154 pounds?
I need y'all to get the likes up, man. Get the likes up.
Brian Norman seems to believe so. He seems to believe that it was a coincidence that Jaron Boots Ennis moved up to 154 pounds. Now, of course, this storyline kind of happened about a week ago, but we got more information in regards to what's happening. Now, I believe that this fight eventually still will happen. Jaron Boots Ennis, actually, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Boots Ennis. I believe that this fight will happen somewhere along the lines. But Brian Norman Jr. strongly believes that Jaron Boots Ennis grabbed his boots and ran away from the storm.
A coincidence?
Most definitely. The week of.
Yeah.
So first you had Eddie Hearn, he came out and he said it the week of. And then, what's his name? Boots had said it either today or yesterday, either or. And it was just like, what kind of news is this? Like, y'all can't wait one more week? And then also it was like, y'all literally just said we can fight after this. But now all that's off the table on fight week. That don't sound right to me. And also here to my how the doctor said he wasn't performing at his best. Okay, that sounds good, but what does the doctor really test to make you say he's not performing at his best?
Only 40%. He put a percentage out there. Yeah.
What do they test? Like I'm real dead asking for like blood, this, that. Mm-hmm. What do you test? And like it ain't making no sense to me. The thing. His doctor said he only performing at 30 or 40%. First of all, what doctor and what test do you take to say you only performing at 30 or 40%? Think about that. And also, he came out with a whole percentage as well. Only 30 or 40%. Do you take a blood test? But you missing some vitamins or something? Take a multivitamin. You all right. Like what tests are they taking to let you know you're only performing at 30 or 40%? Something ain't adding up, brother. And then you don't want to fight Theo because you don't want to look bad. You don't want to fight Virgil because you ain't at 154 yet. But now you're at 154. And come on now, is it me or is it them? Why are they playing funny games? Why something always going down with them? Why they can't get no big fight? What's going on with them? But yeah, I'm the one on the end that's got to sit here and bite all the bullets. It's all cool. I'm gonna keep knocking everybody's head off and letting all y'all boys know.
Now, about the whole underperforming thing, right? Jaron Boots Ennis gave us some details as into regards to what happened and what the doctors told him, his nutritionist, and things like that, right? Salute to my boy YSM Sports Media for the interview. Check it out.
At 47 for 9 years, almost 10 years, and I've been making that weight for a long time. And I feel like the time is right. You know, it's that time. You know, and I feel like it's time for me to be comfortable and be myself.
Do you think, like, when you say now's the time? I know you wanted to be undisputed. I know that was a goal of yours. Mm-hmm. So what made you pivot from undisputed to like, yo, it's 54. It's now or never?
What made me like pivot is like, you know, some of these other champions, you know, they taking, you know, other fights and things like that, and in between, and I feel like I don't have no time for that. You know, my goal was to be having them back to back, you know, fight champion after champion after champion, and move up to 154. Like I always said, even in the previous interviews, I said, I'm down here for the belts.
Why didn't you have time for that? Your promoter Eddie Hearn spoke about a situation with your doctor, and they said that you were underperforming. Is that why you wanted to run them all in a straight line very quickly?
Yeah, I mean that too, and I feel like I'm about to be 28 in a week. So, you know, I feel like it's just that time. I've been at 47 for, like I said, 9 years, almost going on 10 years, and I sucking all the way down to, 47. I feel like it's just, kind of like a lot. And even with the nutritionist, like we got blood work and stuff done and things like that. Just to see, you know, like what I'm missing and what I need, and you know, he basically was telling me like I'm underperforming, like I'm really like at probably 30-40%, you know, fighting these fights, you know, and that took a consideration, you know, as well, you know, and so it was a lot of things. Like I said before, it just was time, you know, it's time to move up, you know, time to be me, time to be comfortable, you know, and not play a dangerous game, you know, going down to 47.
Now, to hear what Boots had to say, it makes sense, right? And to get more of the interview, got the link in the description. It was a really good interview. Boots Ennis, YSM asked some really good questions that fans would like to know. Why did you say that you was good, right? YSM actually asked him that. Why did you say you was good? And it's something that I was saying. Like, he said he was good. I said he wasn't. He didn't look like he was good, but he said he was, right? And come to find out he really wasn't. YSM asked, elaborated on that. Just go check out the full interview to see what he said about that. But the fight between Boots and Norman, man, that fight has to happen now.
I got a fight with Jen Sasaki coming up. Everybody know about this. You come out and try to make me sign a contract before I even fight. Now, we seen what happened with Caleb Plant when he was supposed to fight Charlo. And they made like a little pre-fight contract type thing. Caleb Plant lost. His eyes wasn't on the prize. He was focused on 3 steps down the line instead of what's in front of him. We seen what happened when Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney were supposed to have a rematch, and they signed a contract beforehand, and Ryan Garcia's eyes wasn't on the prize. So why would I go out here and make the same mistake? So I said, okay, cool. I do want to fight him. But can we talk about all of this literally after the fight? I fight June 19th. We don't even have to wait to June 20th. We can start talking literally after that final bell ring. But for some reason, twice on fight week, Eddie Hearn came out, and then the day before my fight, Boots come out saying they're moving up in weight. I thought we were supposed to fight after this. So how am I over here ducking the fight and stuff? And he the one that moved up ever so quick. Why you had to do it on my fight week? You couldn't wait till the week after, a month after, anything. I don't know if y'all remember in that post conference of his last fight, he said how easy he made 147, how good he felt, and how this and how that. What happened?
It just has to happen. Now, apparently they sparred each other. We talked about that in smaller detail, but apparently they sparred each other several times over the years. And from the rumors, Jaron Boots Ennis always got the better of Brian Norman Jr. It was never close.
Then Brian Norman sparred multiple times. It was never competitive. It was never close. It was never any of that.
We're getting it from someone that was there.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We're getting it from someone who was there. You saw them spar.
Yes, I saw them spar. So even when they talked about the body shot thing, mind you, when the whole debacle of Brian Norman and his dad going on tour talking about, oh, boots, I'm just sitting there being quiet watching until they start crossing lines. Then I'm like, all right, now, I was there. When he put Brian Norman down, if this was a fight, it would have took way more than 10 seconds for him to get up. When he put him down that body shot, it would have taken way more than 10 seconds for him to get up. But let's pretend that the body shot never happened. The spar was never close, and none of them. That fight, mark my words, does not go past 5, and I'm being generous.
And this fight has to happen, you guys, right? One way or another, right? It may not happen right now because, you know, of course, Jaron Boots Ennis is now at 154 pounds. Brian Norman Jr. says that he's pretty much waiting on a Barrios-Pacquiao fight so he can get a unification fight with those guys. Try to unify 47, and then he'll eventually be at 154 pounds himself. But Jaron Boots Ennis likely will take an interim fight, a solid gatekeeper-style fight to welcome him to 154 pounds. And then from there, he's going to be looking at guys like Virgil Ortiz, who apparently has some type of injury. So he's going to be sitting for a little minute. And then Jaron Boots Ennis, and hopefully we can get that fight between him and Virgil Ortiz, which is another fight, another great opponent for Jaron Boots Ennis. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Is it a coincidence that he just is it just a coincidence? Is the timing just that perfect that it just looks like Boots Ennis just kind of avoided Brian Norman Jr.? Boots Ennis himself said, look, man, I wasn't trying to wait around. I was trying to fight champion, then go ahead and move up because I've been at the weight class for 9 years. And he has been at 147 for a long time, you guys. If you think about it, ever since Boots came on the scene, he was at 147. How long he's been around now? Since what? since we first really seen Boots Ennis on Showtime. That was like, what, 2018 maybe? 2017? Maybe even 16? I'm not sure, right? Somebody leave it in the comment section. But Boots Ennis been at the weight for a long time. So for me, I think it was time for him to move up. But it just, everything with the timing and everything that happened, it looks like Boots Ennis was avoiding the storm. But tell me what you guys think. Brian Norman Jr., Jaron Boots Ennis. Will that fight ever happen? Did Jaron Boots Ennis avoid the storm? Will the storm move towards 154 pounds? Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.